Tonight, though, let's start in Egypt, where the central bank has announced the floating of the Egyptian pound. The official value of that currency dropped by 48%. It's an eye-watering figure, all the way from 8.89 to the dollar to about 13.5. Now, an exceptional $100 million tender was issued at that new price. The floating was a key condition of the IMF for a loan of about $12.5 billion over 3 years. Yasser Hakim starts us off tonight.
It's been a long time coming. The floating of the pound was a constant demand by businessmen and experts alike.
The decision hit the block market hard, and those who trade in hard currency have incurred huge losses today. The most significant result is that it has completely killed off the block market after the dollar became a product for trading and not a currency used for imports. This was an essential decision and everyone wanted it.
Central Bank Governor Tariq Amer also took several measures to protect the pound from the risks of devaluation. He lifted all constraints on withdrawals and deposits of the hard currency. He also raised interest rates in Egyptian pound loans by 3% and interest rates for long-term certificates by 6% and 9%.
Raising interest rates is an attempt by the government to encourage the people and investors to put their money in banks rather than invest illegally in the block market. The fear is that powerful block market traders could hit back and starve the market from dollars because they already lost a lot of money. We should wait and see. It's too early to indicate if the devaluation is a success now.
The IMF welcomed the move, saying it will increase Egypt's external competitiveness, support exports and tourism, and attract foreign investments. A clear sign that the $12 billion IMF loan to the North African nation will finally go through. The central bank set 13.5 pounds to the dollar as the official rate, but said this is only a benchmark for the banks. Starting Friday, the pound's value will be left to the forces of supply and demand. Yasser Hakim for CCTV, Cairo.
All right then, this is a discussion I've been looking forward to. Yasser Hakim joins us now live from Cairo. We're also joined, of course, by Taiwo Oluboyede. He's a brand analyst in Nigeria. He's live in Lagos. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Yasser, let's start with you. There was a 10% trading ban in place today, but that ends today, right? Is this a true free float, or are there capital controls that are still in place in Egypt?
No, at this point, starting Sunday, it will be truly free. We know that the central bank has set 13.5 pounds to the dollar as the rate at this point, but he says this is only for Thursday to as a temporary measure to manage to move to the totally free market. And he made, in the statements, he made it sure that it will be totally free. Interbank system will be the one through the banks to identify the supply and demand, and thus the value of the pound each day, and no interference from the central bank. They only issued $100 million on Thursday in an exceptional tender, not more. There were rumors there will be $4 billion to pump it into the market and support the Egyptian pound against the dollar. That did not happen. It shows that the central bank is serious about not intervening at this point.
Indeed, a very disciplined start there. Taiwo, let me come to you. One of the main criticisms of the Naira's flotation is the fact that capital controls were still retained on a very broad range of goods. Do we know when these restrictions may be lifted, and what is the CBN's rationale for keeping them so far in 2016? Right, then let's move on to Yasser. Yasser, before this move was made, did the central bank in Egypt look at the Nigerian experience in floating the Naira to know exactly what not to do?
Well, we hope so, but it's too early to decide. First of all, one problem with the Nigerian case is that the central bank has intervened. Another problem is that the dollar, the oil was the main source, and the oil companies were the main source of dollars in the market, and they controlled the tenders on who would buy the oil, and the rest of the money would be taken by the central bank to use it to fill the gaps in its foreign reserves. Now, this is not happening right now, and it's left to the interbank, like I said, and the central bank is saying it's leaving it to demand and supply and will not be intervening at this point. Whether a couple of months ahead, 3 months, they find that the pound is too weak and cannot sustain such measures, will they have to intervene and we go back again to the same situation? Will the black market and the traders there, they're very strong, they're very powerful in the past few months or year at least, and they still have the means to control and pump in dollars or starve the market and try to sell the dollars in the black market at higher prices and fight off the banks and the government. This will all be clear in the next few weeks. But it's from the statements from the central bank governor, he seems confident that this will go through, and he said that it needs a 1 year, 1.5 years, and Egypt will feel the positive effects of this decision.
Indeed. I like how he's framed that particular idea. It's a long-haul move. But yes, I mean, it's easy enough for us to sit here to talk about the wider economics of it. But what sort of reactions have you been getting to this move? Devaluation and floating are not popular items where they're usually done. Has this been met with universal approval, or has it been met with universal disapproval?
Well, the government is trying to show signs to the media and the public that this is a victory. It's the mood now with the government, even with the channels, the TV channels here and the media, is like you've won the World Cup. But there's also support and welcoming news and messages of support from the IMF, from the European Union, from the European Bank, from John Kerry, the US Secretary of State. He sent a message of support and saying this will help the Egyptian economy going ahead. And the exporters, they're saying this will help exporters to raise their exports by 20%, and obviously tourism, because prices will be better. But again, some skeptics and some experts are saying, let's not just jump to conclusions right away. Let's wait. Let's see how it turns out. Let's be cautious and take care and take very careful steps to ensure that it will succeed, and not to give too much high hopes and then find that the results are not up to expectations. And I think what the government is trying to do is trying to send the confidence to the people that they will not be affected, that better things are coming up, and so that they can at least be patient with any price hikes that could happen, at least in the next few weeks, and that what's after that will be good. And I think that's what the message is the government is trying to send to the public at this moment.
Indeed. Perhaps now is also the time to actually book that holiday and come over to Cairo. Thank you for that. That's Yasser Hakim live in Cairo.